Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hazel and Mia Podcast. We're so happy that you could join us today. Hello, Hazel. How are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm always happy when it's Friday.
Oh, thank God.
Okay. Anything planned for the weekend?
I haven't got the baby over the weekend, so I can have some good sleep.
Well, we all probably could use that. I think people over the past several months have been losing a lot of sleep, and it's not due to their own faults. We're going to call this episode The Gold Plated Blindfold: Wealth, Wisdom, and Staying Awake in a Broken System.
Yes.
Okay. And this is, go ahead.
So we've tried to figure out why this side is so dark, and we can't work it out at all.
And you have sunlight still.
Yeah. I'll see if I can get a ring light. I'll have to dig out my ring light because I've got one here somewhere.
Okay. Hey, why don't you pull a card for us to get this session started off? I know that a lot of people are just having a really difficult time. It seems like each week that goes by, the situations around the world gets worse.
And which ones would you like me to use this week?
Okay, so it's very dark there, honey.
We've got the big ones.
Okay, yeah, let's go with the big ones.
Or the small ones?
No, definitely the big ones.
I'm wondering if I can pull in closer, if that'll be in. You'll just have to put up with my ugly mug being right there.
You might have to pull out a flashlight. I'll send you some candles. That'll be a nice ambiance behind you, the candles flickering.
Let me check something. If I put the torch on my phone and turn my phone around, how's that?
A little bit better.
But not a lot.
Not a lot, no.
Let's have a look.
I want everybody to realize that they are playing a part in this world that we're living in right now and the future that we have coming for us. There is a future, and we just have to be resilient.
Yes.
Really pull up our boots and our big girl panties. Guys, pull up those, what do you call them? Speedos? No, we don't want Speedos.
Oh, no.
Your boxer briefs. That's what we want.
One. That's
Okay.
the one. The
Okay.
card for now, for the start, and this runs in line with what you're saying. Boundaries.
Very good.
Now, this card don't literally mean boundaries, guys. It can do, but it also shows the knives. So that means it's about protecting yourself from negative energies as well. Because I do feel that at the present time, so many people are soaking up those negative energies because that's all that's around them.
Unfortunately, fear is used as a tool to keep people down.
Yes.
To keep people in line and make them do all of the things that your leaders, your wealthy people want you to do.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take off the blindfold. guys, and really see everything for what it really is. For so long, we've followed these people who are wealthy and have these huge corporations and felt like we were something because they hired us. Well, you were something before you got hired. That's the important message that you have to learn to recognize.
And the important thing is, guys, and this is going to sound really random, how many of us listened as a child? Not many of us. So why are we listening to them, to the higher B now?
You know what? They put their pants on the exact same way that we do.
Yeah.
And they didn't get there by themselves. They literally got there off of the backs of others. Everyone else did the hard work, and they sat back in their offices and collected the money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then when they felt like their name was so recognized, they didn't need those people who were working 24 hours a day.
No. No.
Those
But
people were the ones who were trying to take care of their families, feed their families, keep a roof over their head. And they were probably your parents and or your grandparents.
yeah.
And those are the role models that we should be following.
And guys, the people above us, one thing you need to forget is just because they might have money, just because they've got a name tag, one thing I want to say to you is we all bleed the same colour and we all got our own bowels, and everybody has bowel movements, so they're no different to us. Just the name tag. And that's
That's
what people
exactly it.
remember.
That's exactly it. Now, we might ruffle some feathers here, including our own, but we're talking about money,
Yes.
not in a manifest your millions way, but look around you.
Yeah.
Acknowledge what are the important things in your life.
Yeah.
You cannot get love back from a dollar bill or $1 million bills. That money is never going to love you back, but your children will if you raise them right. If
And
you raise them to worship family.
Yeah. One thing I was going to say is, and I feel a lot of us have made this mistake previously, where you try and buy friendships.
And
It don't
look,
work.
okay, like Hazel said, a lot of us have made that mistake. You wanted to be in the popular group. You wanted to feel wanted in circles in school. Well, you know what? Every last one of those people in that group wanted the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And if it was a small group, then you had better chance of getting into that small group. Okay.
Yeah.
The larger groups, the kids who believe themselves to be really popular, if you go back and look at where they were back then, the popular kids, and look at where they are now, what did they do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or what did they have to do to get a position of prominence? If you watch your TV today, you will see that many of the people who are A-listers, as they're called, they had to do some pretty crappy things to get where they are today.
Yeah.
And a lot of us who chose to keep their self-respect, to have boundaries, are not in that same position. But we also don't have the same lack of conscience and burdens that they carry now.
And the thing
Hazel,
is, people need to like you for the person you are, not the person they will want to change you into.
I mean, Hazel, you've got a excellent situation going on in England right now with the royal family. You have two members who didn't want to be royals. They wanted their privacy, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
That was something that I looked at when I was modeling, and I thought, this isn't for me because I don't want cameras on me all the time, every time I walk out of the house. I don't want someone who is following me just to get a picture, you know?
Yeah.
That's not really a life that you want to live.
No, no.
It's very hard for the royals, I think. Am I right?
I think the royals are really lucky up here because I don't live far from a certain royal residence. I
Mhm.
don't want to say where specifically because you know what people are like.
Yes.
They have to come into our town to do their shopping, and you'll see William and his wife shopping in our local shop, but the cameras don't bother them. It's like they're treated by the local people, they are treated as local people. Don't get me wrong, they have their security with them. That's natural. You can't blame them for that.
Right. Right.
We've got more uproar up here at the moment going on about the other subject that's going on in the royal family
Yeah.
because nobody wants him living here because of all. I've got to be careful because of the political things, but
Right.
because of what's going on there. So even though, yes, they're royals, but if you think over the last 10 years, how many people have actually been taken out of the royal family because either they've done something wrong or their face don't fit or they just basically don't want to be in there anymore because they want a normal life.
But isn't that amazing that the life that they're living, they don't consider to be a normal life?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying about being careful with your words, but for so long, imagine that certain people believed that they were almost um, ethereal, royal in the sense of they were above every
Yeah.
other human being, and that
Where where
everything
I
that they did
yeah,
was okay.
we often see the royal horses. They'll
Mhm.
pass us in their horse box. And don't get me wrong, they've still got the Queen's marks on them because, as you know, everything is going to go through a process of change. But
Right.
we still see them. The road that the King at the time had his accident on, I drive on regular. So it's just like really close vicinity of everything. And it's like they don't see themselves any different, but we do because of where they live and how they live,
Right.
if that makes sense.
It does make sense for some of the royals,
Yeah,
okay, because they are understanding that they're where they are because of the people around them in the community. But then
yeah,
you have the other people who believe that they are there because of their merits,
yeah,
not
yeah.
because of their name.
Do I believe some of them should be a royal? No, I don't. No, I don't. For the
Mhm.
simple reason, royals at one point were a very how do you do family. There was
Mhm.
not a such thing as a divorce. There was not a such thing as airing your dirty laundry in public. Now they have divorces. Now everybody knows what's going on. Do I think Charles should be king? No, I don't. I think the royal family need to come back to the younger people where William should be king because it's the younger people that are going to be growing up and making the changes. Whereas people my age, we're relatively too old to make those changes now.
That's interesting because it almost says that just because someone is rich or has a certain name, it doesn't mean that they're right
No,
and
no.
that they should be raised up above everyone else. And that's something that we as people, we'll call them normal people, should have been
Yeah,
recognizing for a long time.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like I said before, everybody puts their pants on the same way.
yeah, yeah.
Nobody can get their pants on head first.
No, no. And that's what it's about doing, guys. It's about taking that step back to think things through before you jump in head first and make those mistakes.
It's important for everybody to adjust their lifestyle to
Yeah,
the environment we're living in today. And, you know, you got to start with the ground that's under our feet
yeah, yeah.
because we're all walking on that same ground. Okay.
How I like to explain life is the earth we walk on is the earth that keeps us going for the simple reason food comes from earth. If you think of it, most of our power cables run under the earth. So without the earth, we are nothing. And think about it, guys, to build any house, to put any foundations in place, it needs to work from the bottom up.
There you go.
Children grow. They grow by standing and learning from us. And that's what we do. We start from the bottom and work our way up. And that's what life is about. You start at the bottom and you work to where you want to be.
I tell you that there's somebody who's very close to my heart, and she's a young person, but she often says that she needs to go outside in her bare feet and
Yeah,
ground herself.
I do that.
It's
I do that.
very important to recognize where you begin.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
earth is what causes everything to grow.
Yeah.
And by letting yourself get planted, you can grow inwards and upwards.
Yeah. And the good thing about going out and standing barefoot on the grass, I even say this to my clients who say, I've got an exam coming up. Am I going to pass? Ground yourself first. Ground yourself so that you're calmer. And guys, a tip. You go and stand out on grass in barefoot, all the negative energy that you're holding on to goes back into that soil. So you're cleansing as well.
And a lot of people are going to say, how do I ground myself? What is all of this meaning? Okay, literally, it's about going outside, standing in your barefoot in the grass, and feeling the dirt underneath your feet and recognizing we all came from nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the energy from the ground is what you want to absorb. Don't get in the grass or roll around in the grass. You don't have to do all of that. You just have to feel how much warmth is coming up from the ground.
Yeah. Definitely. Because that's what it's about. If you think about it, coal. Years ago, we had to use coal for heating, hot water. That come from underground.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Food comes from underground.
mm-hmm.
Houses start underground because you've got the footings.
And
So when
you're
you
literally in today's environment, you are literally going to need the resources of the dirt to help you get through these next couple of months. Okay, so you might have a car and you are struggling to get to work because of the gas prices that are going up. Okay, hey, maybe you live close enough to your job that you can walk to work or ride a bicycle to work. And that requires your inner energy,
yeah,
not gas, anything like that, you may be fortunate enough to have a bus stop within your walking distance from your house. Okay, if you can't cut prices that way, you got to start a garden.
Yes.
Have your garden in your backyard or start a terrarium in your garage, something that's covered. You know, it's unfortunate now, but everything must be a little covered. Unless you can get a community garden going and everyone shares the fruits of the garden.
Because it's teamwork. Teamwork makes dream work. And that's what you've got to think about now.
Absolutely. I mean, because literally teamwork has been been beneficial to all of us at some point in time in our life.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have gotten away from that. You see now there is more backstabbing in corporate offices.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to be the best in their job. And so they must make other people look not so good. So bringing back that teamwork spirit into a group environment is going to be very helpful. Even if someone isn't working, they don't have a job right now, there's so much they can still do in a team. Provide childcare, because we all know that childcare prices have soared.
Yeah.
And it's almost another rent. If you have 2 children, my goodness, you're working overtime to pay for that childcare. So someone doesn't have a job in the community, watch out for the other people's children.
And the
Take
thing
them
is,
in.
when I was being brought up, it was traditional that the grandparents looked after the grandchild for the parents' work. I do that now for my little grandson. Because expecting parents to pay a full week's childcare is not plausible. People can't do it.
It's not. But look, we were all put in this situation to make us feel like we were not worthy, that we could not survive without these billionaires or these CEOs of these companies. And that is absolutely not correct. We have resources in our communities that will be wonderful if we work together.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what it's about. And you know what, guys? If you think back to your younger days, where this is an ideal thing of showing what I mean, you'd go for a picnic. One would take the crisps, one would take the bread sandwiches, somebody else would take something else, but you all shared. And I think that's what we need to go back to. If you work and your neighbour works, see if you can have different days so that you can look after each other's children.
You know, that's an excellent idea. The thing that we have to recognize is that we've been brainwashed.
Yes.
We all have been brainwashed that we have to have full-time jobs in order to have everything that they are selling us online. And they start selling to our children because our children are made to feel like, oh, little Tommy down the street has this brand new bicycle. Why can't I have one?
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe Tommy does have a brand new bicycle, and maybe Tommy has 2 parents who are working, and maybe Tommy also has grandparents who are living in the home, excuse me, who can watch Tommy when he's not in school. Everybody has certain circumstances that they have to deal with, and it's about becoming one big family to show those people at the top that they are not this savior.
Yeah.
They are not these billionaires who can poo-poo on everybody else below them. They made it to where they are now because of us.
And the one thing I want people to remember is everybody's an individual and everybody's unique in their own way. And that's an important thing to remember, because you are you.
And you bring something special to the table.
Yes. Yes.
And don't ever let anybody tell you you're not. And the more you recognize that you have something to offer to the world, the better it will be. It will be a
Yes.
better place to live in.
Definitely.
All of these
Definitely.
people who are sitting in their ivory towers, thinking that because they have billions of dollars in their bank accounts, that they are something special, I guarantee you they're missing the most important things that life has to offer.
And that's loyalty from genuine friends, because you can guarantee most of the people around them just want money.
That's it. And you know what? I also think that all of these people are afraid
Yeah.
of everything outside of their front door. They're
Yeah.
afraid that somebody's going to take everything that they have. The people that they've surrounded themselves with, they can't trust them.
No.
They
No.
don't know who's going to be the next one to stab them in the back. And so they have a lot more sleepless nights than you do when you lose your job.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you had the ability to go out and find one job. You may have to create your own job.
Yeah.
There are so many reasons that people are losing their jobs these days because of age, because of their training or lack thereof, or because they don't want to pay an increase in salary.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
so sorry, Hazel, but you're getting darker for some reason.
And I haven't even moved.
No, you haven't, but
I haven't even moved. Thank God it's coming to the end of the show, because I'll fix it by next week.
okay, well, why don't you pick another card for us then?
I've even turned the torch on my phone.
I don't know what it is.
I don't either. I really don't. Oh, God help. Hey ho, the joys of live streaming.
There you go. Okay. you know, like Hazel said, next week she'll have it fixed. And that's progress.
Yeah.
That's moving forward. So this is a minor problem, but we'll find a solution.
Soon as I come off, and if need be, next week I'll use my phone on the ring light.
Okay.
Right. See, even there, the King of Wands.
Ah, okay.
Action. So it's time to take action and put your things into perspective, so that you know exactly what way you're going and how you're going to do things.
And that is absolutely awesome, because that's what we've been talking about. Even the smallest action you take is moving you forward.
Yes, definitely.
You know, people are trying very hard to live well, and we have to stop outsourcing our moral compass.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's going to be very important for our children to learn that, and to learn it from their parents.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
If you had a really important role model in your life, whether it be your mother or father or your grandparents, go back to your childhood and think about the things that they taught you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is highly probable that they taught you some great survival skills. And every era had a downturn in it,
Yeah.
And the people from that era learned some really important things. And I hope that those things were passed down to our viewers. And like I said before, the rich people didn't get there all by themselves. They got there on the backs of others. And let's not forget that fact. You are needed in this world. You
Yeah.
bring very important skills.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
I hope that this message has reached those who needed to hear it tonight. And please feel free to give us a thumbs up, like this video, and if you wouldn't mind subscribing, we'd really appreciate it. And I'd also like to hear your comments. I know Hazel would love to get your questions. So just
really
take a
would.
moment.
You see, look right and right. Oh, but look now, guys, you can see my grey hair.
Come on, everybody. Let's light up Hazel's camera so that she can show off that gray, beautiful hair and that big, gorgeous smile of hers.
I say to that.
It was a pleasure to be here tonight.
In the dark.
Repeat that again, please.
Some people would prefer me to be in the dark.
Not me. I would not prefer that. It is absolutely wonderful to be a part of this show with you, Hazel. And I can't find a better way to spend a half an hour.
Hey, what more can I say? Rise, please. Hey, rise.
Okay, everyone, on that note, I'm going to say good night. Have a wonderful weekend. And we really would like to hear from you.
Definitely. And we shall see you next week, guys.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye-bye.